Hello all, this is Santosh Pasi and welcome to this video. This video is about OptionOracle. It's a getting started guide for option users. I've received multiple requests earlier on my Facebook group, on my blog to record a video that will help users to understand OptionOracle. So this is an attempt. I hope this will be able to help all OptionOracle users. So let's move forward, and here is a disclaimer before we start. So just remember, all trades carries some amount of risk, and we don't claim accuracy of data being downloaded by our tools. Please verify data at your end before using it. And trading done by based on our tools are at your own risk. So I won't be responsible for any financial issues, health issues, or maybe anything else. And remember, our services are for an education purpose only, and we don't provide any tips, and we don't recommend any tips services. And if you wish, you can read our complete disclosure as well as disclaimer at our site, that's www.pasitechnologies.com. So let's move forward, and this recording would be in two parts. So the part A would be about OptionOracle, and part B would be about OptionOracle accessories. So in part A, we will see I'll introduce about OptionOracle, and then we'll see how to download and how to do the installation. Then I'll get to the main screen interface. Then there would be around 2-3 minutes break, and then we will go through the configuring parameters. Then we will see graph feature of OptionOracle, that would be payoff chart, and then finally we will see how to use template. Part B recording will have accessories details like what is volatility cone, how to use it, followed by volatility smile. Then we will go through put call ratio and option pane. The most difficult part is using wizard, so we'll see that. And at the end there would be a troubleshooting guide that will help you in case OptionOracle is not able to install or not able to download option chain. So in that case you need to refer this troubleshooting guide. So let's start point one, that is OptionOracle introduction. Remember, OptionOracle is options strategy analyzer. So it is a tool to analyze your option strategy. So using OptionOracle, you can add your positions, and then you can analyze. You can see payoff chart, you can see different Greeks values, as well as what would be your maximum profit, what would be your maximum loss, if volatility changes, what would happen, how your payoff chart looks as you go close to expiry, and what would be your position at certain strike price. So that things you can see in option strategy analyzer tool. So these all features are available in OptionOracle. Remember, this is a free tool, so we are not charging for this tool. And authors of these tools were two Israeli guys, that's Shlomo Shasher and Orion Moshe. These two engineers, they wrote this application something around 2008. So it's been in industry for around 9 years now. And in 2012, both the authors said that they won't be able to support this tool anymore, so they made this software open source and with some conditions. So the conditions that the software can be used for your own purpose, or you can use for your commercial. You can do whatever you wish. and all the license details are available at my blog, so you can go to pasitechnologies.com and see the original license of authors, as well as once you install, you can see in the installation folder the original license. And we are supporting OptionsOracle since August 2015, and we're not just maintaining the software, but we're trying to add small enhancements, although those are not a big enhancement, but that enhancement makes our life much easier. And if you want to see where to download, you need to either go to pasitechnologies.com, or you have to be a member of our Facebook group. That's Option Trading Course. That's my group name. So once you're a member of this group, you can download OptionsOracle installer from files section. So once you go to this second URL, that's a Facebook group URL, then you will find, if you're not a member, then in that case you'll find a join group icon over there, a button. So you need to click on that button, and most of time I approve the request within 5 minutes. Maybe in case if I'm stuck, then it may take a longer durations. And so let's go to the first main page and let's see where it's available. So let's go to pasitechnologies.com, and then we will see. So once you go to my blog, this is a blog where you will find a lot of updates. And once you go to options tools here, you may find two buttons. One is for the premium tools. So if you wish to buy our premium tools, you need to go here, you need to download. And if you wish to go for free tool, then you need to go to free tools and click on OptionsOracle India plugin. And once you click on you're on that page, then you will see what is OptionsOracle, some introduction about the OptionsOracle, then all the thanks to the original authors, and below that you'll find a download. So there are two versions are here. One is a faster version and the second one is a slow version, or I normally call it a classical version. So this is the version in case if you wish to have the original look and feel and original PCR things, then you can use the slow version. And in case if faster version doesn't work on your system, maybe some technical issues, then you should try the slow version. And in most of the older system this works without any issues. At the same time, I have received a confirmation that even the faster version works all the way from XP to the latest Windows 10, and Windows 10 64-bit 32-bit, it works smoothly. In fact, I've been using this on Windows 7, I've used on Windows 8 as well as on Windows 10 64-bit system. So as such, we haven't faced any issue. And if you go to the faster version, the plugin downloads data much faster. Then there are PCR enhancements. So if you go to put call ratio, you can see details by series, and then we have added additional columns in started positions. Those were the feedbacks we received using our Facebook group. So let's click on this button, and once you click on this button, you will reach directly to our options trading course group. And as I'm already a member here, I can see the file sections, and you can see the files over here. So let me download the latest file. So I'll just click on the first link, and it will show me the post here, and there's a download button here. So let me download here. So once you download this, we need to unzip it, or maybe just directly go to the Windows folder, and to that double click on that, and you are into the folder. You'll find two files. One is OptionsOracle India plugin.msi, and you have a setup.exe. So let me double click on setup.exe to start installation. And in case if you have some older version of OptionsOracle, you need to uninstall before you proceed with the installation. As I've already uninstalled the older version, I'll start with the installation. So I've double clicked on that, and as you can see, welcome screen, and I'll say next page. There are two licenses. The first license is a Pasi Technologies license, and the second license is from the original authors, that's OptionsOracle. Using the first license, I'm trying to protect myself, so I won't be any responsible for any damages, and in case of some legal issues, you have to it would be your own thing. I won't be responsible for anything, including the third party contents license. So you need to read it thoroughly this, and in case if you're not comfortable, you may say I do not disagree and cancel the installation. And if you're comfortable with the license agreement, you need to say I agree and proceed for the installation. And then it will ask you on which drive or which folder you need to install. So I'll select the default one, and then I would say let this be available for me, just me only, that's better option. I'll say next, and then it asks for the confirmation. I'll say next, and as you can see on the screen, it is installed. Once it is installed, you'll find icon on your desktop, as well as if you go to your program files, you will find Pasi Technologies, and under that you'll find the link to start the OptionsOracle. So now we have done the installation, and now let's go and let's understand the base user interface or the main screen, how does it looks, and how to use OptionsOracle basic functions. So let me double click OptionsOracle India plugin icon, and it starts pretty fast here. The first thing that normally I do once I do a new installation, I go to config button, and straight away I go to online servers and stock exchange selection. And here you need to click on this icon and you need to check. Okay, so if your plugins exchange settings plugins are correct, then only it will be able to download the data. So I'm looking forward for India NSE plugin, so I'll select that. I'll say save, and then I type Nifty in case I wish to download Nifty data, Nifty option chain data. And once you click update, it would download all NSE option chain data, and once it downloads, it would show you option chain data here. So let's try to understand the screen here. So if you see the screen, the first on the left hand side, you can see it's a detail about your script, that is symbol. So you can see it was last updated on March 20th, that's today at closure of the market. You can see the last traded price for the Nifty, what are the changes in terms of points and in terms of percentage. And then other details like bid-ask spread, bid-ask details, dividend percentage, implied volatility, and historical volatility. And then on the right hand side, you can see a table here. That's table that shows your options chain. So you can see all the way starting from the March, then it went to the April, then May, June, July, and all even 2018, 2019, and so on. A lot of data are being downloaded here. In case if you want to see option chain data specific to some series, say I want to see only for March series, then I'll click on this button, then it will show me data for March series. If it is April, then it will show me data for April series, May series, and so on. Next, if you wish, on the title you can see different columns here, and if you want to see the Greeks value, then you need to click on GRK button. As this button is enabled now, you can see the other additional columns are added here. So implied volatility, in the money probability, delta, gamma, vega, theta, strike, standard deviation, and then you can add two additional columns, and that's based on your indicators, that's based on your formula. You can add your own. I've added one sample indicator. Same way, if you wish, you can remove these, add your own, or maybe add another column here and add a data here. In case if you just want to see the call details, then you need to disable put, Once I disable put, you can see I can see all calls here. If you wish to see just put, just enable put and disable call. In that case, it will show you put details. Same way, if you want to see in the money or at the money or ATMs, just select that and it will show you those details here. The second part at the center of the screen is your strategy positions. So here you actually make your strategies or positions here. You add your positions here. So let's say for the April series, I want to add a position. I'll go for the March series. I'll start with the March series and then I'll show you some positions here. So let's say at the money, if I want to sell, I want to go long, say 9100 call. Then I'll click on this. I'll say 9100 call. I want to go long. And you can see here it says long call 9100 expiry. Then it shows you symbol code and then quantity, then open or close positions here. The price at you can change this price. This is the last price from the exchange what you downloaded, followed by Greeks, that's like volatility percentage. Then if you have done some commission settings, it will show you those commissions here, and then how much margin being used for this, your what's the debit it went, what's the total investment, followed by your Greeks delta, then gamma, omega, theta. Then there are some additional fields here, that's like a profit and loss value, then in terms of percentage, and then in the money probability for this particular strike, and then time value, as well as a remark which you can add, or you can add your text here that I'm taking this position for so and so reason, and whether I've got one position here, second position next day, or whether it's whatever your remarks are there, you can add it here. Let's say I want to sell out of the money, so let's say I want to sell 9500 call here. Then I'll say drag it here. By default it will should say long call. If I want to sell it, then I'll say select, double click on this, and then it will show you the drop down menu here. From here, if I want to sell a call, then I say short call, and you can see, yeah, it's saying for March its value is at 1 rupee 50 paisa. Now if you see here details, there are some backgrounds, black color background, as well as you can see a violet color backgrounds. So anything black color background, you can change it. So let me change, instead of March series, I want to go for April series. I don't want to trade with 1 rupee 50 paisa thing, so I'll just change this to the April series here. And even for this short, I want to go for April series, then I can select April series. So you can see I was able to change here. Same way, instead of 91, if I want to go for 9000 long call, I can go and change it to 9000 long call. Now let's say I went long not at 247.25 paisa, but I got entry at 245. Then I can click on that and I can type here 245. Assume that if I've sold this at 30 rupee, not at 26, I'll just assume 27 rupee, then I'll write here 27 rupee. And as you can see, once I type the number, it changes its color. If it changes this color, it means it's locked, it's freezed, so it won't change. So now if I make it this 9600, you may say that last price will change, but not this particular price. So I'm gonna make it 9400. You can see the last is changed, but this is fixed here. So if you want to unfreeze it, this right click on this and say unfreeze price. Now both are same here. So let's go back to our initial example, and I'll go to 9500, and I'm gonna say I've sold it at 24.7 rupee. Then quantity is 1 here, both things. Now let's move forward and let's see the lid. In case if you want to add, that's one way to drag it. The second way, you can use a button add row. So I can say add a row here, and here again I can select if I wish to put, say I want to go for short put, and I'll add it here a short put, and let's say I want to short put say 91 itself. I'll go for 9000. So I'll just go here to 9000, and I'll say short 9000. Okay, so same way you can change series instead of March, April, or other series. Then if you wish to delete this, either you can say untick. In that case, this is not enabled. That's one way. And if you want to completely delete, just click on that and say delete row. If you want to delete everything, you can use delete all. Next, there is an option called enable sorting. So in the earlier version, if we have a multiple positions, say I have 8 or 10 different positions are there, and if by mistake if I click on any of this title like expiration or on the symbol word, it used to sort it, and then my position used to go up and down. It was difficult to keep a track. So in the now what I've done, I've disabled automatically sorting here. So if you click on expiration or strike, nothing would happen. So if you want to do some kind of sorting, you need to first click on this enable sort button, and then you need to click on the title. So if I enable a sort button and if I click on the title, it may do a sorting. As you can see, it moves up, move down. But I want to disable it as a disable sorting. In that case, this nothing would happen. This position would be fixed position here. Now as you can see here, I've went long at 245 and current market price is at 247 rupee 25 paisa. So in a nutshell, I have a 2 rupees 25 paisa profit in this position. In terms of percentage, it is I have 2 rupees 25 paisa profit. The investment of 245, that's around 0.92% profit. This particular strike in the money probability chances are 62% and the time value is 120 rupee 50 paisa. Similar things you can see even for short call. So here I have shorted at 27 rupee and now it's at 26.85 paisa. So I'm in 15 paisa profit, and it's in terms of percentage is 0.56 percentage nearby, and in the money probability that market can reach 9,500 is 18%, around 18% or around 19%, and the time value remaining is around 26 rupees 75 paisa, as it is already out of money, in fact deep out of money. If you wish, you can add your comments. As I've told you earlier, you can just click here and type your comments here. Next, it shows that this strategy is start date here. You can click on the date if you wish that you're gonna take this trade on Monday or maybe on Tuesday. Just select a date. If you think the expiry dates are correct, let it continue as it is. If you think it's incorrect, you may change it. And again, you can see it's freeze here. If you want to unfreeze it, you can right click and say unfreeze. For this particular strategy, you can add your own comments here. That this particular strategy I'm going for so and so reason here. I expect this much profit. I expect this is maximum loss, as you can see here, or maybe I'll do a next adjustment and so level. So you can write your remarks, your comments here. Once you add a position here, you can see that strategy summary, it updates itself. Now here you can see that maximum profit potential for this strategy is around 282 points. Maximum loss risk is 218 points. Again, I'm saying points because here I've written quantity as 1. Upper break even is saying market should reach above 9218 so that you would be in profit. So let me quickly change. I don't want to go for this strategy. I want to go something, say short straddle. Let's go for short straddle, and I'll sell short call and short put both at 91. So I'll go short put, I'll change, I'll say short call, and I want to make both 91. Let's understand, because I want to show upper protection and lower protection. And if I go to 91, as you can see here, and I'll unfreeze the price, I'll say unfreeze the price. Assume that instead of 97 I've sold at 98, instead of 180 say I've sold at 182. So it's showing us here now maximum profit potential is 280. You can see maximum risk because this is a short straddle strategy, so it's infinite. Upper protection, now you have seen one addition button here, a column, a row, that's upper protection and lower protection. So it's saying if market stays between 88.20 and 93.80, you would be in profit. And upper side protection is 2.77% away from the current price, and lower side protection is 3.36% away. So we have around 6% buffer. So if market stays roughly in this range, this trade would turn into a profit trade. Currently I'm at 70 points profit, and if market expires here itself, then this 70 paisa may turn into 253.15, that's on expiry. And if market stays at current price, that is 9126.85, and the same thing you can see here, the last price. Next, it shows Greeks, that's your total delta 0.08, that's minus, and then Vega, and then it shows you theta. So few like me, I prefer to enter the trade and earn in terms of points. Now if you wish that you want to see the status in terms of rupee, then you have to change this quantity and turn into a lot size. So we know that is 75 with lot size, so let me write 75 here. Assume that if you go for one lot, then it will show in terms of rupee. So this trade can give me 21,000 as max profit. My risk is unlimited. Proportion, lower proportion remains same, and current return is 52 rupee and 50 paisa, and this can turn into 18,986.25 on expiry if market expires at 91 current price, that's 9126.85. Also you can see that now Greeks are changed, because now it's multiplying Greeks into 75 with your lot size, and then showing you total delta in this trade is minus 5.94. so if Nifty changes 1 rupee up, 1 point up or 1 rupee up, then this much delta would be impacted. And then total Vega is around minus 1736, and total theta that's earning on daily basis at the as of today is 279.20. the theta would increase as we go closer to the expiry. So this is today's theta, and that's for the user screen main interface. So I've tried to cover. So again, it's symbol details, then we have to have a button for different series, then the option chain details are here, then followed by the strategy positions. So here you can either drag it or use the buttons here like add row, delete all. You have seen enable sorting function and the strategy summary table. Let's see what is left now here. So we have done a basic user interface. Next module of OptionsOracle. So let's see how to do a configuration. So here we can see a different tabs. So we'll just go through all the tabs and then I'll explain you the details. So let's go back to OptionsOracle, and there's a button called config. Let's try to understand what is our best parameters. So once you click on config, you'll see this configuration dialog box. So let's go to start one by one. So if you have installed install completely using my installer, then you'll get all the configuration parameters absolutely correct. But by mistake you might have changed it, or maybe it's some old OptionsOracle to install. In that case it won't change your settings, but these are my preferred settings. So as you can see here, first we need to make sure that your online server and stock exchange selections are correct. So if you have a because OptionsOracle can support Indian market, can support abroad markets like US market, New Zealand market, Australian market, South American market, European market. So if you have a plugin for those, you need to just select a correct plugins and go for it. At the moment I just support Indian market, and on a request basis I provide plugins especially US markets, but that's on demand, not by default. Let's see here settings here. So as in Indian markets we have less liquidity, so that's the reason I prefer to use the last price here instead of going for use ARC's bid price, although this is recommended here, but I prefer this because maybe if bid ask spread is very high, that you may not be encouraged to go for the trade, you may get discouraged. So I say let's just show me based on the last price for the options, as well as if you are going for to add a stock, then it should show you the last price. In case if you're in the organization and you are behind a proxy server, then you need to write your proxy settings here. So you have to select this checkbox. You have to write your proxy host name. If you have some ports, you need to write colon and port. If there is authentication, you need to write the username and the password. Then as you can see here, auto refresh. So at what so there's a feature, if you can see here, it's written here no auto. So if you click on this button, it will auto refresh your option chain data. So here you can select how often you want to refresh your option chain data. I recommend let's not to refresh. In case you are doing some kind of intraday trades, then it's better to enable this, but most of the time I recommend not to enable auto refresh, because most of the time option trades are for positional. Next setting, we'll go to commissions. So on the commissions, you can see different parameters. One is your broker commissions. So let's take example. If you're trading standard brokers like ICICI Direct or Sheikh Khan or HDFC, in that case the trades are done on per unit basis or per lot basis. So you need to change this price on per lot basis, so it's not per lot, per unit basis. So you have to make sure that these settings are correct. Okay, so most of the time if you're going for this kind of trade, I don't recommend to use any money fields here, unless if you're just trading Nifty and you know that it's 100 rupee, maybe say assume 75 rupee per lot. In that case per unit it would be 7.5, then I'll change it 7.5. But if you're using multiple stocks and context are different, then it's very difficult to use this. In that case I would prefer to write it as 0.00 only. But if you're trading like a Zerodha or RKSV, where it's being traded on per trade basis, then you can write like 21 rupees or 20 rupee per trade. So it would just put a commission as 20. In if you have attended my workshop, normally I say just keep these numbers as it is, because commissions are small part of our options trading. It's like a petty cash in case of office. So first, don't bother about the commissions. Try to improve your option trading skills. Once your option trading skills are enhanced, you are successful option trading, then you can go for the optimization like transaction costs, commissions. You should see later on, not earlier stage of your options trading career. Same way, you can see your federal rate. So people do recommend here to write like a repo rate 6.25 at the moment in the market. Again, in the workshop I do recommend that just keep it as it is, simple. First try to earn from the option trading rather than saying how much you're gonna lose, opportunity loss, in case if you have kept that money in the bank. Next is margin setting. I've done a default margin settings. Okay, so there are different parameters are there, so how much the cost requires, so you need to select one by one and update. So there's a different, you can add a row here, you can say off 8% of underlying stock. Okay, you can go to my blog and actually you can see an article on margin settings. So if you are using some brokers and your margin settings are not correct, then you have to refer that blog and manual and change these parameters. In case if you click this reset buttons, then it will change to US style parameters, margin parameters that may not be correct for the Indian market. So like in Indian market, normally 8% of our value is required as a parameter, underlying value. So that's the reason I have written 8% of underlying stock price. Next setting is volatility and math. So here I recommend that just go for option specific implied volatility, that is recommended. At the same time, I ask users to just select this option, that is use stock implied volatility in case if option specific implied volatility is not available. Sometimes it happens that particular strike is not traded, so it's not able to calculate implied volatility. This happens mostly for deep in the money or for deep out of the money options. So in that case I said just use options implied volatility instead of showing not available. And then in case if you wish to download historical volatility, you need to select this checkbox, but just remember once you select this checkbox it will download historical volatility. It will show you that volatility here, but it may increase your download time. And if you want to use different parameters to calculate historical volatility or different formulas, then you have to select one of the formulas here. In our OptionsOracle tool we do use this formula, one of this formula, and that calculates the historical volatility in OptionsOracle tool, because we use a different way to calculate volatility and to identify our trade, our strategy. So that's the reason we are not using here, but if you want to use it, just select this checkbox and your algorithm. Then there are different pricing models are there. You may select Black-Scholes model or binomial model. Most of time it's recommended just go for Black-Scholes model. In summary tab, as you can see, the ones I've selected here, it's showing you those fields here in the same order. And if you want to customize, you may either move these fields from here to there or there to here. But most of the time I prefer this sequencing, and there's specific reasons for that, and those reasons you will get to know in my workshop why we do need this kind of sequencing, because our tools do a lot of Greeks calculations, Greeks validation, and we do need what's maximum profit, what's maximum risk in the trade to calculate risk to reward ratio. And then we need upper protections or lower protections, or upper break-evens and lower break-evens. So that's the reason we recommend this way. But if you want to know what is total investment, you can just drag it here. If you want to see total gamma, you may drag it here. And if you want to see how much interest paid or maybe a total debit, those fields can be moved here. Next is about the indicators. As I told you, once you click the Greek button, you get additional fields here, and additional two columns are added here. So you can write your own formulas here. And to see, I've written one sample example. So I want to see how much time is left for the expiry for this particular strike. So it shows you like 10 days here. So maybe you can write your own formulas. You can use OptionsOracle getting started guide to get details about these parameters, what parameters to be used, and then you can write your own indicators if you wish. And the last tab that you can see here, that's view. So here you can define your width size of this. You may change a black theme, or you may change a bright theme, so it changes its colors in different colors or different themes. I prefer to use the standard default dark schema, that's better for me. So based on your personal choice, you may even select a bright schema. So once, let's take the example, if I go for bright schema, save, you may see that it changes into a different color. So let's go back, and I would go to the default, that's a dark schema, and I'll save it. It will revert back to the dark schema theme, and then you can see a links here. So these links are not used in Indian market. This is basically refers these links to download some auto updates like your repo rates and federal rates, those details. So with that we end the configuration details. So based on your choice, your personal understanding, you need to select this. The one which is done by default is what we actually use, and we actually in our workshop we use these settings. So let's go to the next topic, and the last topic of the day, if I'm correct. No, two more topics are there. So one is about the graph. So once you make a strategy, let's do it practically. So once you make this strategy, so this is a strategy that's called short straddle. And once you make this strategy, the first by default I use a graph to see different payoff charts. So if I click on the graph, you can see a payoff chart here. As this is a short straddle strategy, you can see a chart for that, graph for that. In case you want to see the bigger, then you can make a box here, as I'm making a box here, and the graph would enhance or would change the size. So you can see and once you go out this status bar, you can see if I move the mouse, is changing the stock price, at the same time it's changing the profit and loss, at the same time is changing the probability that market can stay here. Okay, for example, if this trade market ends at 9,000, and you can see at the status bar, if market stock price ends on 9,000, that is on expiry. On the right top you can see 27th April, and chances that market would end here is 1.39. It's a 1.39% away from the current price, and I would end with 13,515 as a profit, and that is around 15% returns in terms of investment, and chances that market may expire here is 37.96% chances are here. And by mistake, if I'm changing the size and I don't change it correctly, I want the original size, then I can click on auto scale here. So if I click on auto scale, it will revert back to the original size. Then how many positions are there in this strategy? For that you can click on show position if you want to see individual position. So as I have two positions, so you can see a short put and I have a short call. So these are individual payoff line, and this is a combined position. Most of time I don't like to see show position, so I'll just hide it. Next, if you want to see the standard deviation range, then you need to click on show standard deviation, and once you click on that, that will show this green lines. So if the closure green lines, that is this is my -1 standard deviation, this is +1 standard deviation, this is -2 standard deviation, this is +2 standard deviation. So based on the standard deviation 1, let's go for this 1 to 1 range, then there's 65% chances are that Nifty may remain in this price range. So all the way to this is 87.24 to 95.54. So 60% chances are there based on standard deviation 1 formula that Nifty would remain in this range. Same way, this is standard deviation 2. Most of the few traders, they do trade based on the standard deviation. Then this is the position on the expiry. Okay, so let's see what is the position as of now. So if you want to see position as of now, I'll click on T, that's today. So today my chart looks like this, and this is E means expiry, that means on the expiry it will look like this. If I want to see today, I want to see step by step up, to see how much position would change. So I can increase my date. So this is position 27, this is on 28, 29, 30. As you move forward, you can see it changes your payoff chart. So this is day basis day changes in your position. If you want to see on specific day how does it will look, you can just click on the date and you can select. Let's say I want to see what it would look next say second weekend. I can select the date. Same way, you can see here 3 buttons. So one is called implied volatility, one is called historical volatility for the stock, and then options specific implied volatility. So let's take, if you want to see what would be the impact of my implied volatility on my position. So I'll click on I, and if my volatility increases, my trade is going negative for me. If my implied volatility reduces, that's good for me, and my profit would increase further. So you can try to interpret this impact of volatility change on your positions. We teach in detail in our workshop. So there are other parameters like profit versus underlying, there's a profit versus end graph, then there's something called profit versus loss versus profit loss versus volatility impact. So we go in detail in our workshop, but as a normal users, most of the time you will end up with only profit loss versus underlying graph. In case you want to see in invert color, you may just click on invert color, so your background would change to the bright color and the color. So based on your personal choice, you may select the color settings here. And then these are the some numbers. You may change the dates here, you may change manually volatility here, and you can change your uh, profit loss versus different conditions. So that ends our graph. In fact, more queries, if we have a graph, we do handle, and we go really in details in this graph during our workshop, and that actually helps us a lot of participants to understand options in very detailed. Let's go to the next topic, and the last topic of the day is to understand template, or how to use the template. So let's use it and do it practically demonstration. So if you see here, there's a button called template. So if you're not sure what is this strategy, or maybe if you have heard that there's something called short butterfly, let's say I want to go, so you may select different strategies here. So let's start with some normal strategies. So I'll go with short strangle. So there's a short strangle, and I'll say select for the March. I don't want for the March, I want for the April, and then select. So it will automatically make a strategy for you, and you can see a payoff diagram. So this strategy is nothing but this is called short strangle. If you want to have, say, I don't want short strangle, I want to see a short RN condor, I'll select on that. Again, April series, and you can see this diagram it shows is for short iron condor. Let's say I want to have some bullish strategy, so I may go for bullish strategy, and I want to go for bull call spread. I can select here. I'll say select. So it just makes a template. Based on the template, it makes the strategy. Once strategy is made, you can change the template. So instead of 9,100, I may go for 9,000. Instead of 9,200, I may go for 9,500. Then you can change your payoff diagram. So once you select the template, later on you can change your strikes, you may series or use some other parameter based on your preference. This is a way we use template, and here you have a lot of bullish templates, you have bearish templates, and followed by a neutral templates. And remember, sometime if I go for neutral templates, let's say I'll go for short butterfly, then it may select a 50 strikes. So you may see the diagram. So this would be for 50 strikes. So if you're not comfortable with the 50, you may just change manually. As I told you, so you just can go here, just can make it 9,000 instead of 9,100. I may go for 9,200. I may go for 9,200. I may go for this 9,300. So this is so the way it would look, and then it shows you all the Greeks value here. In case you go for this is one lot, or maybe you can write 75. If you go for two lots, you may write 150. If you go for this three lots, you may write 225. So that's using a template, and it works perfectly. And these are the some templates are there, including the cover calls are there, and cover puts. You have standard. So a lot of standard strategies templates are already here that can be used. Once, just remember, once you make a template, just try to change the strikes based on your preference. So that's for today. So today we have covered introduction, and then we have seen the main screen, then followed by a graph, and then finally we have see how to use template. So in next video we will cover remaining topics. That's for today. I hope this is a useful session and would help you to enhance your options trading, as well as how to use option oracle. Thank you so much.